PhotoMerchant was born out of a need. So one of our co-founders, Derek Clapham, was moonlighting as a semi-professional photographer. He was doing a school shoot, shooting 400 girls, sent spreadsheets to his contact at the school, asked her to get everyone to complete it, and he got 400 printed spreadsheets back in the mail. So needless to say, the fulfillment was just a nightmare. It took forever to fulfill the order, at which point Derek said there's got to be a better way to do this. Researched it, started on his first prototype, and then pretty soon after we started to talk and started basically PhotoMerchant in 2008, March 2008, and the irony is that Derek hasn't touched the camera since. There are actually a number of players in the photo space. So you have your community marketplace-oriented players such as 500px, Flickr, Google+. So they're more in the community space. Then you have microstock image libraries such as Getty Images, stock image, iStock Photos, for example. And none of these have actually a business-to-business focused. So none of these provide photographers with their own unique web presence. At the other end of the spectrum, we've got business-to-business focused providers such as us. So you've got on the one hand, you've got those who are more focused on display, portfolio-only sites. So they are providers that provide you with the capability of building your own website, template-driven approach, no e-commerce capabilities whatsoever. And then you've got those with slight e-commerce capabilities, and then you have end-to-end providers such as us. So you've got a website building tool, template-driven, no technical skills required in the application. You've got a very strong e-commerce system that is very much niche-focused, so fully caters for the needs of a photographer. And then you also have workflow automation and business automation. So we're integrated with PrintLabs. If it's a print order, PrintLab dropships to the photographer's customer. Our system generates an email with an invoice thanking the photographer's customer for the order. All of that is done automatically, so the photographer makes money while they sleep. In the end-to-end space, there are just a handful of serious competitors. They're all in the US, and that's where we are. Our aim was to get to a point where we are favorably viewed against those competitors, and we've achieved that, and that's no mean feat because we've done that with very limited development resources compared to our competitors, so that's where we're at. Management behind PhotoMerchant is Derek Clapham, who is a co-founder, who is our CTO, lead developer, pretty much developed the application. So he's looking after the technical side of things. He's also very strong with infrastructure. Then we have Kane Tietzel, another co-founder. He's marketing, but also design, so he's the creative side of it and marketing side. And I'm the CEO. I look after the operational side of the business and financial aspects of the business. Our board, we've got a very strong board. Graham Cook is our chairman. He used to be the founding managing director of E-Trade, also ex-CEO of Amex Asia Pacific and Chase AMP, and currently chairman of Australian Technology Park in Sydney. Then Matt Dickinson, angel investor who came on board in late 2010, very strong online expertise there. Successfully exited a business, search engine marketing focused business a few years ago, which at the point of exit was generating about 30 million unique visitors a month and $8.5 million in EBIT. So we work very closely with Matt with our customer acquisition programs. And Atul Tapar, who was the ex-CIO, regional CIO for Hudson Resources, ResMed, and GE Healthcare, so very strong technical expertise there. So I think on the management side, what I would like to add about the management team is that we've all worked in the same digital agency before, Derek, Kane, and I. And we've been in the PhotoMerchant business for the last few years, so we've been through the ups and downs of running a startup, so we've been pretty much acid tested, because that's another risk, the founder's risk, will they see eye to eye when things get tough. So we certainly, I think, stood the test of time, and on the board side, very strong corporate governance with Graham and Atul. More recently, we reached our 2,000 subscriber milestone. They're all paid subscribers. We're actually now at 2,200. 37% of those subscribers are already in the US, so that was a major milestone for us. And other than a number of pretty hefty development milestones over the year. We're now working on a major development milestone. We're actually refactoring our entire code base, which essentially means we're rebuilding the application from the ground up. Now, there's a number of reasons why we do that. For example, one of the reasons is that when you actually build an application over time, you build what's called technology debt into an application. That means it gets a bit unwieldy, it just becomes more difficult to develop on it. So we've decided to take the learnings from the last few years, completely rebuilt on a newer framework, technology framework. So we've got a very fast application, much better user experience. And also going forward, we can develop much more easily new functionality on top. Just to put that into context, what takes our competitors, we're already pretty nimble now with our current application, what takes our competitors months or years takes us weeks. What takes us weeks now will take us days, literally. It's going to be as fast as that. Also, technology costs will be halved, essentially. So it's a big thing. Also puts us into the right sort of, I guess, position to expand internationally in terms of providing the application in foreign languages. That's very easily done from a technical perspective. We can open up our template variety, and also it readies our application for enterprise sales. That's a part of the market that's eluded us to date, but it's a very lucrative, high revenue, high margin market for us. So yeah, refactoring the code base, rebuilding the application, it's good for the soul. Everyone should do it. We're working on a major deal at the moment. It's actually the first cap off the rank for our enterprise deals. So it's not anything I can disclose at the moment, but it has the potential to add a lot of significant high margin revenue to our top line, of course, and a lot of that will drop to our bottom line as well. So. The outlook for Photomerchant is extremely strong. We have currently 2,200 paid subscribers. Our revenue run rate at the moment is 720K. We're building revenue every month, so our revenue increases every month. Our subscriber base increases every month. So we have a very healthy and very predictable growth trajectory on that front. We're now augmenting that with enterprise sales. And we are confident that by mid next year we'll be reaching a cash flow positive state. We'll be reaching profitability. We're very excited about the next 2 years. With the challenge with the SaaS business, software as a service-based business like ours is that has recurring revenue streams. You're actually building, it's like building a piece of infrastructure really. It's a bit like building a bridge, if you like, if I can use that analogy. You have a lot of upfront investment in terms of time, cost, money, effort. And it takes a while before you reach that critical mass. So if you take the example of a bridge, you need to get enough traffic across that bridge before it actually starts paying off and generating a nice recurring revenue stream. Now, a software as a service business is no different. So we have spent the last few years greatly de-risking that business. When you look at a software as a service based business, you've got any kind of actually business, you look initially at, you may have just a concept. The question is anyone going to buy that product? Now we've established product market fit. We also have established that we can acquire customers very cost effectively. So these business fundamentals that underpin our business are very strong. And the last really milestone for us now to reach is to get to profitability, and that's well within our reach now. Now, once we're at that point, the next step then for us would be to scale for global growth, and we may do another capital raise in the US next year, of course at a much higher valuation once we are profitable. We are an Australian tech startup, very exciting tech startup. We have a very predictable model, predictable growth rate, a very scalable model. We know how we can scale our business. It's a model that's been established over the last 4 years. The photo space is a space that's heating up big time. So obviously with the acquisition of Instagram by Facebook, Google Plus now is taking the photography space very seriously. The segment of the emerging photographer, everyone with a DSLR essentially is just amazing. Now in terms of I guess our company, we're a software as a service based company, and because of the recurring revenue stream nature of the business, software as a service based businesses are very highly valued in the US. To give you an example, a revenue multiple of 5 to 6 is not unusual, and an EBIT multiple of 20 to 50 times earnings is not unusual either. So we're aiming to be a $200 million company in 4 to 5 years' time, and we think that it's extremely doable based on how we have grown to date and what we can see ahead of us in the future. You can find out more information on the Wholesale Investor website. We're raising $500,000 now. The use of funds is to take us to profitability by mid-2013.